Hello, I just wanted to update my history, if you will. It's 2020 now. I've been through quite a few things. And as an author, a speaker, a radio show host, I think it's important for me to convey where I get my perspective, my philosophy, my understanding of what it is that I teach. So, a snapshot of that would begin in 1995. I'm 35 years old. I'm working in broadcast television as an engineer. And in that moment, that's my life. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm an engineer, and it's really kind of a white picket fence perspective, not just in the sense that this is what life is going to be. And then the proverbial 2x4, the classic cosmic 2x4 across my forehead, cracked me open in 1995. I had a very powerful event unexpectedly. I didn't see it coming. And that event certainly changed my life. I released an immense amount of emotion that I had no idea I had. And then it took me quite a few years to integrate that. And as I progressed through trying to understand, trying to wrap my noggin around what was this immense amount of energy that was coming out of my persona in that moment, I got around to writing. I didn't see myself a writer. The first book I wrote was this book here, Swimming with Your Boots On, Our Human Nature as Energy. Now, I wrote this book, or should I say I finished this book in 2006. But I never published it. It never went out on the market. I had taken 6 years to write the book. The first book you write, many authors will tell you, can be quite challenging. And this book certainly was. But I felt like over those 6 years, my language, my understanding had changed so much. And so the content of the book it wasn't congruent with itself, if that makes sense. Shortly after that, I released some audio CDs, Karmic Canvas, Karmic Cleanse, and Emotional Aerobics. These were, these talked about the event that I had, not per se specifically the event, but the effect that event had, that emotional release, and how much that release had shown me how my subconscious was a very, very prominent part of our life. Perhaps right now you're sitting there feeling quite at home, quite at ease in your house, in your body. You know who you are. You've been this person for quite a while. No surprises. That's how I felt before the proverbial cosmic 2x4. But once I had that event, that immense emotional event, it changed my life forever. I really wanted to know what happened. Where did all that energy come from? Where did all that suppressed emotional energy come from? How had it affected me? And was there more to discover? The next book I wrote is Citizen King, The New Age of Power. I wrote this in 2009. This was a much more succinct book. Citizen King, The New Age of Power. In 2009, I also started the New Human Living radio show. I also created the company New Human Living. And at that point, I realized my life purpose was to help convey this message of what I had learned that day when the cosmic 2x4 cracked me open. Very soon thereafter, I released this book, 6 Steps to Personal Freedom, Living the Life You Love, which encapsulated 6 critical aspects of our life that we often overlook. None of these books are on the market right now. I didn't have an editor, and I was advised that my grammar wasn't up to par. And so I took those books off the market. And I had another event in my life that really changed my life. My soul, I'm going to try to describe this as clearly and accurately as possible. My soul took me inside myself. It took my awareness right here, right now, and it took me into this inner field of light. Inner field of light. Pure light. Pure white light. I would say pure consciousness. It was a very profound experience. In that space, there was no duality at all. It was just pure source consciousness. No here, no there. No me, no you. No now, no then. None of that, just pure consciousness. And then I returned back to my, quote, normal self. And I believe my soul did that to show me the full spectrum of who we are as a soul embodied in a human being. My soul chose to do that to show me the range of consciousness that encapsulates the human experience. In 2012, I held a workshop, and to prepare for that workshop, I wrote this book, Personal Power Fundamentals, Pure Authentic You. This proved to be a real fundamental approach to describe what had happened that day when I had my epiphany, to describe in a language, a Western language, if you will, the very ethereal, the very surreal experience I had that day. Since that day in 1995, my soul had introduced me, taught me, if you will. My soul taught me these practices out of the blue. Here, Les, start doing this, start doing that. And over time, I've been purifying my own persona, pure authentic you, pure authentic me. I've been purifying my energetic persona. And the quantum field, if you will, mirrors every aspect of ourselves back to us. And all that emotion that I had in my psyche before my awakening was certainly being reflected back from the quantum field. This book, Personal Power Fundamentals, is a workbook, a playbook, a way to introduce how do you work with the etherical aspects of yourself? How do you purify your own energy persona? How do you work with the inner aspects of yourself that are not obvious to your ego? Well, as time progressed, I then wrote Citizen King again. I wrote this in 2015, completely from scratch. This book talks about the difference of who I am now and who I was then, The difference of discovering this inner wisdom within ourselves, it teaches your ego. It teaches your ego how to play well with your soul, how to walk in step with your soul, how to work in harmony with your soul. If you're going to be a powerful player, if you're going to really be able to hone in and harvest the divine wisdom, the divine intelligence in you, you have to bring your ego around. Your ego has to learn the advantage of letting go. Then the last book I've written, I wrote this in 2018, Forgiven Sinner, God's Last Savior. This book is, I like this book a lot because I asked 1,000 questions about who is God? Who is God? If you grew up, Forgiven Sinner is a very spiritual book. I don't know if I picked the right title because many times people's first reaction is that it's a religious book. Not so much. It's a spiritual book. I was born and raised in a very traditional Christian household, a very strict Christian household. And I was told many things about God and who God is and what God is and how we're supposed to form a relationship with God. And then as I got on my spiritual journey, I discovered, as all the Eastern religions teach you, is God is inside. God is inside me now. Now wait a minute, time out. If I spent decades of my youth being indoctrinated by what the notion of God is, and then in my spiritual awakening, I discovered that I am a personification of that God. Forgiven Sinner is a very spiritual book. Having been raised in a strict Christian household with a very, very definitive description of the notion of God, and then fast forward to discovering that I'm a personification of God, I have to heal my relationship with the God I was brought up with. I have to mend my understanding. And you can't go through decades of indoctrination and then pop out of it just like that. You have to review the beliefs. You have to review what you've been taught God is. If you're going to truly identify and discover the divine consciousness within you now, you have to heal your relationship with God. To discover the God within you now, and then to embody that divine consciousness, that divine love, you have to heal your relationship with it. And that's why I wrote Forgiven Sinner. So here we are, 2020, halfway through the year. Crazy times on planet Earth. You were born for this. You were born to be here now. I created New Human Living not as some kind of end game. New Human Living isn't where it's not like a traditional religion where you join it for the rest of your life. But I suggest to you, in the decades that I have spent working on myself, healing myself, what I've come to learn, I've put out in this material. New Human Living is to support you, to help you. We're here to mirror you, to teach you your understanding with yourself, with your divine self. You might not have ever had a divine experience within your own persona. And I think the difference is with New Human Living is how hands-off we are. hands off as to what you believe, what you think, what you feel. We're not here to tell you what to think or believe or to feel. How can you be authentic to yourself if you're following our beliefs, our thoughts, our feelings? That doesn't work. The tagline to New Human Living, pure, none of me, none of New Human Living, pure, authentic, at the soul level, authentic. Who are you as a soul on this planet at this time? Pure, authentic you. The last mile of all spirituality is within yourself. New Human Living can't take you there. We can get you to the doorway. We can hone and cleanse your physical and energetic bodies to be in harmony, in alignment with your divinity. But that last step is all you. We'll get you to the door. We'll help you master the art of being you, the pure, authentic you. And that's why I'm here. That's why I've shared this. So you understand who I am, and when you look at my material, you know where it's coming from. I think one more point I should make is, when I worked in broadcast television, before the event in 1995, I worked with high-powered television transmitters. High-power television transmitters. TV signals are etherical. You can't see them. They're flying through the air everywhere. You can't see them, can't feel them. And yet they're very powerful. The etherical part of you is intangible by your physical senses. Can't see it, can't feel it. Yet it's a very powerful part of you. And I believe my soul my soul set me up to be able to language the nature of power by giving me firsthand experience by working with very high power in my television broadcasting career. I'm Les Jensen. Always a pleasure. I encourage you to engage the New Human Living material. We're here to help you fully embody your potential, to purify your energy so your relationship with the quantum field becomes more and more powerful, and that you become as authentic as possible at the soul level. Always a pleasure spending time with you. Thanks for sharing this time with me. Until next time, thanks for listening.